main tip for anybody living with a spinal cord injury or any disability is don't let it keep you from doing something you really want to do. Um, in my experience, people with disabilities are the most creative people at problem solving, and they can find ways to pretty much do everything. So if there's something you love that you really, really want to try or do, just if you can't figure out a way to do it, reach out to the community because chances are somebody out there has figured it out. The scope of adaptive equipment that's available these days, it's a little bit mind blowing. So that's my main tip: is don't let anything stop you.
So, advice that I would give women new to SCI or with spinal cord injuries first is to find a community. I think it's really important. It can help you get to know yourself and feel supported. Take the guesswork out of getting around all of this. I would say also to push past your fears. Um, all of this can be really scary, especially at the beginning, but fear is always going to be around. And so you have to just try, and try again and keep pushing, as difficult as it might feel.
Um, don't, if you're getting a new wheelchair, don't just go with what the vendor says. Do your research on the wheelchair that you want and the wheelchair that you need. Discuss it with an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, whatever works for you. Don't just rely on the vendor's advice.
My advice to other people who have spinal cord injuries is to not let it be a double whammy. Being paralyzed is hard. We all know it's hard in so many ways. But if you let it sort of get you down, or you focus too much on how hard it is or how much it sucks, then you just end up letting it be doubly bad. So you just try to get through each day, one day at a time, focus on the good things, have gratitude for what you can, and try not to let it bog you down.
I've always been in a chair, so it's natural, But for somebody um who has gotten into a chair recently, I know it's going to be hard. It's hard even for me sometimes. But when you have those 5 minutes or even a day of where you're really down and out, you gotta think of it as this is life. You're gonna have your ups and downs. And when you have your ups and downs, you have to have friends that are there to help you out.
My other tip for people who are living with a disability is try not to apologize for yourself and really feel like you deserve to be where you are. I spent many years of my life, apologizing that I couldn't keep up with people, or for the fact that maybe they wanted to do one thing, and because of my disability, we had to sort of readjust the plans or whatever. And I think I finally realized that I had a place at the table. I deserved to be there, and um, and I didn't have to be ashamed for my disability. And that's one of those places where having a group like Women on Wheels is so valuable, because you meet these amazing women with disabilities who have nothing to apologize for, and it makes you realize that maybe you didn't either.
So some other things to know is when dealing, you can still get around, right? So public transportation, air travel, you can still do all the things that you want to do. You just have to research thoroughly and make sure that everything that you want to do is accessible to you. And when you do encounter places or establishments that are not accessible to you, it's good to let the proprietor, the manager know. So hopefully they can fix the issue for the next person that comes along. Also, durable medical equipment, wheelchairs and stuff, at first it's hard to know what you want. So get multiple opinions. It's okay to do that. Um, you'll be able to make a more informed decision. I would also say know that sex is still possible, relationships are still possible, children are still possible. You can still be desirable. Um, and you have to make yourself so, though. And you might have to fake it until you make it, even when you're feeling like complete crap. Get dressed, get in the chair, do your makeup, do your hair, do whatever makes you feel fantastic. And that'll be the energy that you're projecting out to the world. And so that's what they will receive. And it's a good thing to raise your confidence. Self-care is really important. So things like making sure that you're using a clean catheter technique, that you're keeping up with your bowel program, taking your medications, going to your appointments. It could seem tedious, but it's really, really important. And moisturize. Moisturizing is very underrated, but it's how you can avoid skin tears and breakdown and bed sores that can kill you. So moisturize. It's important.
I try not to let the injury stop me from living my life, and it's also credit to my family who don't let me sit and sulk. I mean, I've been skydiving, I drive, I've been on cruises, I've gone to concerts, sporting events, lots of sporting events. That's a big, big one for me. I've been out of the country, I've been in the country. I even decided to go to Arizona one day just so I can go see a Taylor Swift concert. It was actually even just a 12-hour trip, but I did it because why not? I've done a lot of things like that, and it just, you live life. There's still things that you can do. You shouldn't let this injury stop you.
I really find that community is very helpful if you have a spinal cord injury. So if you have a local support group that recommends, through the hospital, whether it's online or in person, I think finding community is very, very important.
Be proud. It's so special being in a wheelchair. And you have a lot to offer. You have an amazing ability.
Also, I would say when you're met with questions, if you feel comfortable, I think it's a good thing to educate people that don't know about what this is. That way, we're not passing off someone's ignorance to the next person, and hopefully they can inform someone else, and everyone benefits from that, right? I would also say it's important to research your condition, know your level of injury, know your level of function, what's possible and what's not. Research it, know everything about it. That way you can better get acclimated. And I would also say try not to feel like your issue is bigger than anyone else's issue, because everybody's going through something, and it can turn into a pity party very quickly. So, if you want someone else to respect your struggle, we should respect other people's struggle, and that way we're all on a level playing field.
Living with a spinal cord injury isn't always easy. You have to always plan where you're going, make sure it's accessible, and keep up with all your health issues. But once you get used to it, you'll be able to have a very full life and active life and do anything you put your mind to.
One question I get asked is, if you could change one day in your life, would you change your spinal cord injury? And I always say, only if I can keep the people in my life that I've met since I've been there, because I've met a great group of people in the wheelchair community and lots of disability advocates. They're out there. Just find what you're looking for. If you acquire a spinal cord injury, it's not the end all of what your life could be. You just have to live life differently